Good evening, heroes and heroines, and welcome to Practising Programming in C. I don't know that there's much to introduce today, really. We're just going to be getting on with PPIC lessons. Lesson 2 on Structs. And I think I might have actually solved one of the problems. Casey has spoken about this before, and Mio has recently spoken about it as well. It's basically the notion of like mulling stuff over and just like hitting upon the solution to a problem, kind of while you fall into bed or fall into sleep, or when you're waking up, or when you're in the shower or whatever. I think in my case it was as I was falling asleep last night. Or was it this morning? I'm not sure. It was one of the two. I think bed was involved somewhere. But I think I hit upon a possible solution. See what is happening exactly here. Streams. So okay, it's about a spot that I've gone live, which is fine with me, honestly. And also, you can see here, actually, this is all stuff to do with insofaras as parser. So, what exactly is this? This is probably the output of building it, I think. Yeah. So I kind of like, I've got this test file here. Oh, in the wrong file, wrong directory. I'm like using this test file here, and I managed to extract from insofaras as parser. Well, extract from this file using insofaras as parser all of the annotations with the text, and then did a bit of logic here. Like if it had an author, then it would just like slap an EM or emphasis tag on it, just as like the start of kind of generating the static HTML page, basically. But anyway, that's not what we're doing today. As I say, we're doing the PPIC lessons. And that is actually this here, right? So, and also this is actually a new web browser, so it's possible that I might make a bit of a hash of using that on stream. But if you want to kind of like check this out, it's at there. And also, if I just like throw this down to the Twitch channel, I don't know if anybody's even watching, but in case you're watching, then you can find it there. And I'll also link to this page in the tweet as well. I usually tweet this stuff out when it's live on YouTube, because I export all this stuff to YouTube as well. But anyway, yeah, let's get some music on. Get 4Code open. Look at that. So that's probably a product of 4Code and now interpreting Unicode, and it's somehow interpreted that in the way that it has done, which is kind of interesting. I'm pretty sure it didn't used to look like that. Anyway, here we go. Well, I was up to here, wasn't I? Right. So basically my idea was, I needed to have a previous thing here, right? But my idea is, instead of having a previous thing, is to iterate over the list heads next, right? And then you are already on, you're kind of already sitting on the previous thing anyway. If that makes sense. Might have to do a bit of jiggery pokery here. It's like if list head and list head, no, this might not be correct, it might fail the test. So this needs to store that, I think. Is that correct? What's adding to the list doing? Yeah, I did need to store the start list head. And then you set that to that. So it's like if all of that. Well, list head next. We don't need this anymore. I'll just put start there. So if list head next ID is equal to ID, then what I want to do is I want to say list head next is equal to list head next. And I want to user free on list head. Oh, wait a second. I've lost that, haven't I? So maybe that means I need to do that before that, maybe. List head is moving it across, isn't it? Right, I failed it. So I'll put that. User's root was not called, right. So that'll be because it's because I hit the if. So I need to probably just do user free and the list head. Don't know if that could be at all correct. Oh wow. So I output this was called on nil, I expected that. Okay. Right. Interesting. So what do you have to do if it's nil? Should do with empty list cases. Iterate the linked list beginning at list head for an entry with an ID matched to the given ID. If one is found, remove the entry and pass it to the user free function. Like before, the function should return the maybe updated list head and deal with empty case. Okay, so maybe I want like a couple of ifs. It's like if that, and then it's if list head, then we say this, right? Else do that. If list head, and then if this, so this means that list head, there is a list head, so we can remove something there. If there is a list head next, else this, so I returned the wrong thing that I didn't remove. If there's a list head, because the next point of the entry preceding the removed one to be updated to point to the entry after the removed one. Iterate the linked list, beginning at list head for an entry with an ID matched to the given ID. So if there's a list head, else, I mean, yeah, I don't need that, do I? Because I just return the list head, presumably. User free was, what was it saying? User free was not called. User free, so if there's a list head, if list head next, start equal to the list head. So that's going to store where list head is. While list head next and next. So that means if there's like, if there's 3 things available, if the list head next ID is equal to the ID, then yeah, we want a free list head next, I think, and then we want to say that our current list head next should equal to the list head next. That seems right to me. List head is equal to the list head next. What does that mean? I don't think that's right. I think it's more likely that this should be up there. Ah, hang on a second. Yeah. Right, yeah. Sorry. Because I do need to be incrementing through, obviously. So that's what that's doing. That increments to the next one. Oh, hang on a second. I could get into a situation where I need to have... I need to like remove from the end of the list. So in this case, I've just... Right, okay, so I just haven't set the start correctly. And that's because I haven't set the start. You know, once I leave this, I then need to say that the list head is equal to start, but yeah, that might not be the right. Okay. So I output this. In this case, I've got ID 1, 2, 3. So I'm supposed to remove 1, 2, 3. Oh, right, yeah. Because I'm trying to... I need to be removing the current one. God. I can't be checking that. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like this. Yeah, so I hit a different case there. Got to be a simpler way of doing this. Because I'm kind of special casing all of the removals from the start of the list here. And then I'm probably going to end up having to do the same. You know, doing the same thing for the guys at the end of the list, which feels totally bizarre to me. But I think this is a way, you know, doing this, the next thing. I think this is a reasonable way to do that. It's probably not the idiomatic way of doing it. Yeah. So we definitely need to have got a list head, I'm sure. I don't need... What was it saying? It's saying... Removing from a linked list requires similar code to adding, but in this case the node to be removed could appear anywhere in the list, and not just at the end. This requires the next pointer of the entry preceding the removed one to be updated to point to the entry after the removed one. Which is what I'm doing here. I believe. Sorry, yeah, I'm doing it here. I think. Yeah, it's like if the guy. So this is looping over people who are like 2 behind, or one behind, I think. And it's saying if the next guy's ID is the ID that we're looking for, then we want to free him, and we want to say that our list head next is equal to the one after that. I think that's correct. And then set that to that. So this needs to be valid. List head. This probably isn't correct either, actually. Probably do need to do something else here. Or do I? Because I'm just returning list head. Oh, right. User view was not called. So if I do this, it probably will be. Was called on that, yeah. Let's step through this, I think. Just to see exactly what's going on. So this isn't failing. Well, I mean, it's failing, but it's not crashing. Right, here we go. So, remove from list, remove user. So the list head is at that location. We're looking for the ID 952. So the first guy's ID is 123. The next guy's ID is the one that we're looking for. Right, so that means that I can go through the what? Oh, hang on a sec, what? Hang on. Let's run that again. So we're looking for 952. I think I said that this isn't it. This is it. So list head is not null. So we pass that. So if list head next exists, which it does, doesn't it? List head next ID is not equal to the ID. Oh, it's not equal. Yeah, not equal. Yes, that means I need to. Yeah, right. Yeah, so I'm failing on this. Damn it! I'm failing on the case when it's the second one. Jesus. Because that's the problem. Because this is the ID that we're looking for. So it's going to fail the if. And for some reason I'm just using user free on the list head. So that'll return nothing, won't it? I'll do that. Oh, wait. So I was supposed to return... Yeah, I was supposed... Hang on a minute. Yeah, I had that. Oh, yeah, I put the whole lot, did I? Right, because I didn't... Oh, yeah, I did do the user free on the list head. Go to RIP. Yeah, I mean, I can't really... That's it, I failed the thing, so I can't proceed any further through that. Step you through that. So I can't do this test, can I? I can't do the and list head next is not ID. Let's just see what happens if I just remove that bit. Right, so we're looking for 952 again. To see what list head ID is. I presume it's the same each time. Yeah. So this exists. So it's going to enter this loop. So the start to be equal to the list head, which sounds reasonable to me. While list head next. So this is then seeing if there's another guy after the one that's following. Mind you, what if we want to remove from the end of the list? So if list head next ID is equal to the ID, will this pass? I think this will fail. I think this won't go into the loop. This won't pass the condition. Oh god. Why? So next. If list head next. If list head next. Because I haven't actually, hang on, that is right, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, that is correct. Yeah, that is what I'm looking for. So we're now going to do the free on him. Right. Yeah, and because we've tested if this exists, I can then go ahead and do this. Right. Why am I doing that? Oh, that was for the while. Right, I see. So, hang on a minute. After having removed from the list, I should just return the list, shouldn't I? So I'm just going to keep looping through the thing. What is list head? Well, I suppose I'll see, won't I? Or maybe I won't. But I mean, I presume I've passed that part of it. So now my list head. So the list head is null. Right. So we're going to fail this. And then we should pass the next head. I think this should pass it, shouldn't it? Yeah. So this time we have got a thing. And the ID we're looking for is 1, 2, 3. So it's the first one. Right, okay. So this passes. Well, does list head next exist? Yeah, it does. Right. So it starts to there. Well, that. If list head next. Ah, hang on a minute. Right, because the problem here is that it's listed ID. I want to be removing the actual first element here. Right. 1, 2, 3, because that's me. And this is what it's going to be testing against. It's unfortunate. How am I supposed to handle that? Yeah, that's the problem, because I'm trying to remove from the start of the list. Oh, hang on a second. So in order to remove from the start of the list, presumably you just return the list starting from the second person. So, well, let's do next. If list head next, then we enter this thing. Oh, hang on a second. We could actually say here, couldn't we? We could do another if. If list head next ID. Oh, so what am I looking for? It's the first guy, isn't it? If that is equal to the ID, then what I want to do is I want to say user free on the list head, and I want to say that the user the list head is going to be equal to the list head next, I think, else we do this. Don't know if that's at all correct. Failed it. 952. So as the second element, I outputted. So I just followed that path then, didn't I? But still, this feels totally weird. Like, I don't think this is at all correct. If this exists, I also like how the bonus exercise for the adding was that it's possible to complete this exercise with using only a single loop and no ifs, and yet I've got like if hell here. If we have a list head, then we can go into this situation. If we have a list head next, then we can enter this bit, and we can say if the list head ID is equal to the ID that we're after, then we free it and set the list head to be equal to the list head next. Otherwise, oh, hang on a second. And then it was returned, wasn't it? That was what it was. I want to do that then, and just get myself out of there. Don't I? Put ID 952. So I should be removing this person. So this is 952 coming in. Right. We have got a list head. We've got a list head next. If the list ID is equal to the ID, then we do this, which it isn't. Hang on a second. Why? What? Because didn't I just list head next ID was equal to that? If list head next, I wonder if in just doing this it moves the thing across. Also, I wonder if there's multiple. No, there can't be multiple that have the same ID. Push another test case that I think I might hit. Pull that messes stuff up. Alright. Let's see. Just honest too. Wow. I will need to rebuild, won't I? So I'm getting 952. It's a it's the second element. So if listed next, the listed next does exist. Let's try and hit this first case. If list head exists, then we continue. Then it was at the end. So oh right, wow, okay, blimey, make it even more hard. Push another test case. I think I might hit. Okay. So yeah, let's try and hit this first case. If list head next. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's first of all just verify something. Right, I'm going to run to here. And at this point, list head's ID is equal to 123. List head next ID is equal to 952. Right. Step over this, and that is still the case, right? Step over this, and that's still the. Sorry. Step over. Yeah, step over that, and then. That is what I wanted to do. Oh, actually, what's listed ID? That is 123. So that's not equal to the ID. So why are we passing that test? Because the ID is definitely 952. Do you see what I mean? Because like, if list head ID is equal to the ID, which it isn't. Oh crap! Nice one. Cheers. Jesus. God damn it. Right. God. Yeah, it's going to be because I'm freeing this before setting the list head thing, isn't it? But hang on a second. No, I don't want to be freeing it. I'm pretty sure I don't want to be anyway. Oh, hang on, but I do. Because I need to pass something to free, user free, don't I? User free was not called. Right. So I need to store the previous guy, don't I? So I still need to have him sitting around. Well, hang on a sec. I need to free somebody, don't I? I suppose I could free the star, actually. Would that work? No. because I'm trying to free the second element of the list, aren't I? Oh no, I'm not. Or am I? I don't know. Oh, it could be a different test. But I do need to actually make sure I don't crash, don't I? Let's just step into this now. And just 100% double check that this is actually doing what I think it's doing. So we've got 952, yeah. List head next ID is 952. Right. This will succeed. This will fail. Yep. While list head next, while that exists, so we've got something to actually kind of swap to. Yep, this is going to pass. So it frees that. It sets us to that. It's still going to keep iterating through the list, isn't it? Well, I mean, is that bad? So we passed the test and we've continued. So now we've got 1, 2, 3, which is the first one. But the list head doesn't exist. So, well, the list head is null. So that's just going to fail. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, and the list head is valid. I presume the list head is actually, I presume that's his ID as well. Yeah. If we've got a list head next, this is going to pass. And that would die. Right. So it's dying when I free the first guy. What is he supposed to do? What is it? Maybe update the list head and deal with empty list cases. Right. So it should return the maybe updated list head. So that just means I need to update the list head. Oh, hang on a second. Which case was it? It was this, wasn't it? We're going to harness these straight up crashes. Oh, okay. Which case was this again? This was... It was this case, wasn't it? I was failing here, so yeah. So you're supposed to user free the list head. And then you're supposed to set set the list head itself. Hang on a sec, because I've done it in the other order down there. So presumably this is okay, isn't it? I suppose technically, like, it will still go through the else's anyway, I think. Yeah, right, so if I free that guy, then if I come back through and try and set that to that, this doesn't exist anymore, this list head next. there's going to be no point to do it because this has freed it. I presume. I need to free that first person, and I just need to set. I need to return. Show the A stand stat trace. Sure, yeah. So let's start main test lesson. Test remove user test harness. Yeah, line 250 in the test harness. Yeah. And it's also at my line 2235. Oh, right. So is that... 235. Oh, sorry, yeah, of course, it's just main. So it's not in my code, basically, is what I understand from that. I wonder if I could actually set this the X to be, or actually not this guy. If I set do I even need that open actually? Got a feeling I don't need it. So yeah, right. If list head ID is equal to the ID, which it does, we want to set the list head to be equal to the list head next. Oh, hang on. But then at that point, right. We're then just going to straight up free that same guy. But the trouble, right? So we just need a temporary thing, don't we? Basically, we've got the start, haven't we? How about if we? Oh, mind you, it's the start that we need to be. Do we need to be freeing the start? Oh, and the start's next. That'll be it, won't it? Right. Oh no, damn. I wonder if that failed on the same test. So this should also successfully fail, or successfully pass rather. So this is my case, it was failing. To the list head. Oh, right, okay. Hang on a second. So I did pass the first time, I think. So list head ID. So this should pass, shouldn't it? Because it's the same case as last time. Oh, hang on. What? Why did I get to here? Sorry, here. So this was failing if listed. Ah, right. There's no list head next. That's interesting. So we go down to here. We free the list head. So basically, there's one thing in the list. We want to free it, but after freeing it, we've got no more. We've got nothing else to return. Oh wow! I've passed it. Oh god! Wow, that was awesome. So that was really cool. So my logic actually kind of like my logic was actually kind of sane there. I mean, obviously the function is completely bonkers. Thank you very much, insofaras. It is kind of 20 times more complicated than necessary. Yeah. Now, remember what you said earlier about it not being the idiomatic way of doing it? Is this thing that I've ended up with anywhere close? I mean, it just feels terribly messy to me. Like having... It's nowhere close, no, right. Suppose... I wonder if it's worth actually trying to do the bonus of this guy first. And maybe that would give me a clue as to how to actually do the removal better. An advanced understanding of pointers. A single loop and no if statements. Because remove these are the bonus, but you forgot the bonus, you use a similar method of remove. And use only one in there. One if in there. Okay. So I do need to check that the list first of all exists. So let's just take a step back here a moment. What I'm actually doing here is trying to remove an element from a linked list. Remove a remove like a list item from a linked list. The list can be empty, in which case this case will handle that. It could have one item in it, and you could have to remove that item. It could have two items in it. In which case you want to remove one of them and not change a next pointer, but just change where the head is if you need to. Oh, actually no, you would need to would you need to set the next, choose the next pointer? Well, hang on a minute. Yeah, you could need to set the next pointer to be null. Oh, that's a point. I'll pull again. And I bet that you've written like dozens of well, maybe not. 2 lines, okay. Well, hang on. 1 insertion, 1 deletion. Okay, fair enough. But I bet it was some serious code that you had to do there. So, like, in order to remove from the end of the list, in order to remove from the end of the list, you just set the previous next pointer to null. I can't remember how I was crashing now. Oh, it was because of the it was because I wasn't returning not 0, wasn't it? Yeah. So it's like if you're removing the last element of the list. So yeah, if there's no next, then all you're supposed to do is set next to null. Which is what I'm doing here, isn't it? Well, hang on a second. Yeah, I'm not really doing that, am I? You know, you go through, and if there's no next. Oh no, if there's no next, then you're at the last guy, aren't you? Let's just see actually, because I think the idea was that in order to end a linked list, you can just set the next to null, because they're supposed to. The last element is null, isn't it? Yeah, the final entry of the list will have a null pointer, as its next field signify the end of the list. So it's like, if there's no next, really. It's like I'm on here. It's like my list head is here. the next is pointing to this person. But if that is null, then we know that I'm the last person. Right. But if next, if that is null, then we know that the next guy is null. Sorry, the next guy is the last one. So we need to set their next pointer to null. And I don't think I'm doing that, am I? While next, so this is the situation here. While next, I want to be setting the as soon as I pop out of this loop, I want to be saying the list head next. The list says next should be equal to null. Should still pass, right? Yeah. Well, hang on a minute. Let's just if zero this stuff. Maybe. We first of all need to see if list head even exists. As return list head, right. Never needs to look at next. So I'm looking at next here, aren't I? And this is in the case that the next ID is equal to the ID. Then we need to look at next. Right. I'm basically saying, right, that so we've got the case where the case 0 empty list. Two is going to be a list of 1. Currently I have to special case a list of 1 element because next won't work there, but it can use the same code as a list of greater than 1. If I don't use next. Right. Yeah, see, so it's first of all here. Right, interesting. So unfortunately this is my actual this is my breakthrough. The breakthrough was that in order to allow yourself to actually keep track of the previous guy, you know, you kind of like always are the previous guy, if that makes sense. Well, it seems I can't do that. There's an easier way to keep track of the previous. To store it. Right. Okay then. So, I have to special case a list of one element. Oh, one element. It's known as the variable. Of course, the variable. So I'm special casing a list of one element, right, but I presume I still need to check that I've got a list head in the first place. Right. Well. If we've got a list head, then we just sort of say we've got a user LL. And then we want to say while we've got a list head next, right? I mean, I need to offset these guys, so like the list head is always one ahead of the variable. And I suppose also, honestly, well, no, but it's more like, well, the variable, but then what's the list head got to do with it? Because it is list head, you know, list head is further along, and it is that next that I need to be checking. Hang on a second, that's not right. Because I'm not affecting... list head. I mean, I feel like I want to do this. But I'm not sure this is correct. Yeah, I'm not incrementing enough stuff. I need to be incrementing the variable and list head. So yeah. I'm not freeing at all, am I? That's kind of a bit of an important part of it. You know, what I was saying about the last element, oh mind you, that's a special case kind of a scenario. Set that to that. If listed next ID is equal to the ID. Yeah, right, so it's just like, yeah, I just need to user free the list ID next ID, don't I? Or the user free next, rather. The list head next, I think. That wasn't called. If that. So, right. If there's a list head, if there's not, then we can't call user free on it. Rather than list head next. It's close, but too many nexts. I mean, I'm basically just brute forcing at this point. Too many nexts. So I do want to be moving the list head on, I think. Oh, well, I think I do want to be, I think I do want to be testing the list head next. Yeah, because otherwise I'd be saying if the list head ID was equal to the ID, yeah, but but I wouldn't know how. I wouldn't know how to point to the right person, I don't think. Okay, so since I'm close, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to step through it and just watch what happens. So we've got ID 952 coming in. Right, second guy. Right, yep. Right. So this is what we're looking for. This is going to pass. Why didn't that pass? Ah! I wasn't testing the right thing. Right, so I missed a test, didn't I? Suggested I outputted that guy. Why wasn't that any different? You just didn't care. Like... Oh. Okay, it was different. It shouldn't be the second one. So, yeah, I've lost the start. Unfortunately. Which I am storing with the other solution, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's like kind of ending up in a situation where I've got like 2 temporary structs floating around, one for the start and one for the person before the list head. You know, like we're kind of like concertinaing out. But I'm sure that can't be correct. List head is equal to this. 2 variables is better than many ifs. Although that probably isn't right, is it? because it is a bit of a special case, isn't it? Like, the situation where you want to set the start is only when you're removing the second element from the list. Is that right? What am I using the start for anyway up there? Start is being used here. And it's being used here. I shouldn't increment the start. I should increment the variable to follow list head. I mean, strictly speaking, that would get rid of one of the nexts. If list head next ID is equal to the ID, what is happening on the while line and the one above it? Oh, I see, right, yeah, so I'm missing out. Yeah, I'm missing out a test, aren't I? Well, what's happening is that I'm setting list head to be equal to the next one. And then at that point, the list head next will then be the one after that. So I haven't checked the person that I'm on. Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Because we can't... oh, hang on a second. If list head ID... Because we've got the variable, haven't we? We've got the variable keeping track of him. But I don't know if list head next exists here. Do I? If list head ID is equal to the ID, then we want to set the variables next to be equal to the list heads next. Yeah, I understand that. And we want to free the list head. Oh. Is the list head next? Of course it doesn't matter. Although, or you could say, yes, it does matter. Because that's exactly what I want to do. I want to set this to be equal to null for the last one. God damn it. Yeah, of course. And that's what I was saying, wasn't it? Like, for the last one, you want to set if we're removing the last one, you want to set the penultimate ones next to be null. Which is exactly what will happen. Let me just run this. No. So if the list head ID is equal to the ID, it's the list head that we want to be removing. This is going to set the variables next to be equal to the list heads next. We're going to free the list head. The variable cannot be set to the list head at this point because we've freed it. We want to be setting the list head from the variable. Don't we? Oh, sorry, these are for incrementing. Right. God damn it. Right. Yeah. If that. So yeah, while list user free, and then we want to just return the list head here, don't we? Hang on. No, what we want to set we want to set the start. We want to set the list head to be the start. And we want to then return the list head. Maybe not. Oh, it wasn't called. User free wasn't called. So why wasn't it called? I'm only calling it in this situation. I don't need to call it if this fails. So if we pass this, we're going to get into this loop. So I need to call user free down here on something. Which code is failing. So it's when I'm trying to remove the first element, it's just returning the guy at the end. So I need to. I'm returning list head. I was returning list head, which was at the end, so I wasn't setting list head correctly. But I would have thought that setting list head to the variable at this point would have shown the correct thing. So I've got these guys going in. Get ID 123, it's the first one. So I just need to be. Oh, right. I see, yes. So it was that setting 0 thing, wasn't it? Oh no, it wasn't. It wasn't return 0 at all. So if we've got a list head, which we have, while list head, yep, if list head ID is equal to ID, which it is. Right, okay, so I'm just not doing this correctly. The variable next. The variable is the one behind. Yeah, that seems. Oh, hang on a second. Right. I advanced to the list head next before the loop without checking the first one. for the loop. Right. Oh, yeah. Ah. So it should really be while the variable, shouldn't it? If list head. So if we have a list head, but I feel like I'm getting into a similar situation as previously. This probably isn't right. How was I doing this before? User free list head. So what's he doing that? Oh, it's a start. Right. Oh, sorry. It's not that at all, is it? It's this. God. If list says ID is equal to the ID, let's just see if this passes. Oh, it does. Right. Okay. Right. But have I made that any more straightforward though? I just feel like I've written the same thing out again. Right, this was my first attempt. This can still demand a lot, I'm sure it can. It actually looks about exactly the same length. Start as the outer if is not needed since we can use the while to do the same check. Oh, right. Okay. Hang on. Special case just had this handled differently. So the special case I added was for removing the first element. So, right. The listed ID, there isn't going to be a listed ID. I don't think. We're removing the first element, so that just means that well, hang on. Only one difference between removing the first element and any other. The only difference is that you're moving the start position. So you come in and you say if the list head's ID is equal to the ID, then we know that we want to removing this. So we do. Yeah. I thought this would be correct. We're into free, don't we, as well? Yeah, hang on, we do need to free, don't we? Because we need to tell it that we're freeing it. But this is how it was candid before. So it's, yeah, it's like, well, it's next, isn't it? I mean, I'm surely failing the case here. Oh, hang on. I can be whiling, can't I? I should do that before. You know, because the while will handle the special case. Ah, hang on. I need to put the special case within the loop. You know, because like it's like while. Yeah. Am I in the loop here? I don't think I am. While list head. I see. Right. I think I see anyway. So this is going to first of all test if it exists. Test if it's not null. Sorry, what am I actually doing here? The active is not easy since we can do while to the same check. Right. And the check there was to see if it was null. So while list head even exists, otherwise we can just straight up fucking return list head. And then we can see if the list head ID is equal to the ID. Yeah. If the list ID is equal to the ID, then we want to here set the list head to be equal to the list head next. Or rather, we want to use a free, don't we? First. And then set the list head to be equal to the list head next. And then return the list head. In this case, the second element was the thing that we needed to remove. So then we say, so we increment. Right, I see. So this, at this point, we need to be able to set the list head to be equal to the start. We need to be able to use a free on the list head, and then we need to be able to say list head is equal to start. Right. God. Let's just put limbo on. And the variable isn't being helpful here, because it's not one behind the list head as we want it to be. Removing from the end means that we want to set the penultimate one to null. Is that a special case? I think we established that isn't a special case. So presumably the only special case in this whole situation is the removal of one from the start. Well, hang on a minute. Remove from the middle. That means we just set that to there. Remove from the end, we just set that to there, which is the same thing. Right, okay, so I think removal from the middle and removal from the end are the same thing. So the only special case is removal from the start. So while this even exists, if listed ID is equal to ID, we want to free it. Does this even pass the thing? ASON. Use free list head. So yeah, right. Oh, hang on a minute. So the variable is getting incremented here. So the variable is one behind. Oh no, wait a second. No, it's not. Well, we always want to return the start of the list. Yeah, we do. Sorry, yeah. Ah, right. Yeah. Well, hang on a second. Sorry. We've got the start, haven't we? What am I using the variable here for? How many possible values could that take? It could take null. It could take the value that it started with, or it could take the second one. So let me just write that down. You know, that's basically like, you know, when it starts off, it could be that thing. List head, you know, at. So you want to keep track of the start. If I don't enter this loop, this is automatically going to return null. So that returns null. If the list ID is to the case are equivalent. So yeah, right. Null and list header in it. Ah, right. Ah, yeah, okay. So the only special case is the special case is if we need to remove the first element, which is this one. Well, it's this one first time round. Right. If listed ID is equal to the ID, and list head is equal to start, no, that can't be right though, can it? Can it? I don't think. User free. If that is that. I want a user free list head. I want to set the list head to be list head next. And then listed variable. Right, this doesn't look right. Default to eventually return list head. Surely this isn't getting much closer, is it? Because it's well, I do need to actually increment these guys. Return list head, so I'm returning whatever. If list head ID is equal to the ID, then we want to set the listed to be equal to listed next. Right, okay, so I've lost. So if list head then becomes list head next, this guy is going to actually jump over one. Did I just try and do this before? Yeah, I think I did. Oh, hang on, it's like else, isn't it? I think. Possibly. Output an empty list. The middle return is good, but the final one is wrong. Both have issues. So I'm pretty sure Mind you, hang on a minute. If there's no list head, surely we're fine to just return the list head, aren't we? The last one seems correct. Okay. The variable equals list head. I mean, the only other thing I've got floating around is the variable. Even though there are two cases. Right, yeah. It's, depending if we remove the first one or not. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to say, like, if list head is equal to the start. But it's not, it can't be that quite, I don't think. If list head is equal to the ID, then maybe we want to check in here. If list head is equal to the start, then at this point we want to be saying these guys, don't we? Otherwise, we want to be saying if we're not removing the first one, we're removing the second, so that means we need to make this guy point to the one further along. And we want to use a free. Let's head next. And return the start, so presumably it'll just go down to the bottom then. Okay. So that's removing the second one. It should have removed the second one, but instead I removed the third one. Alright. So I was off by one. I don't know what the variable was for. Yeah. Well, the variable was for keeping track of the previous guy, the person who was previous to the list head. User free list head. I feel like this part is more correct, but this else isn't correct. If list head is equal to the start, then we do this bit. If it isn't the start, what is the variable? The variable is the list head. Well, so then it's point for returning. If list head is equal to the start. So if list head ID is equal to ID, I do feel like this is right. Otherwise, we need to go to the variable. Oh, hang on a minute. Right. It's like it's the variables next is equal to the list heads next. Well, hang on a minute. Variables next equal to the list heads next. We want to free the list head. So we want to user free the list head. Well, hang on a minute, we want to do that. And then we want to say that the list head is equal to the start. Oh no, because we've already got the start. Oh, that's it. Wow. Success again. So we've got two returning the starts here though, which is a bit weird. I don't need to do that. Blimey. So I will ask again, is this anywhere close? Because like, how much shorter is it? I mean, it is a few lines shorter. And it's usually the same in both branches. Gosh, yeah. I was returning list head. Right. So right, I see. So in other words, you do it before the if. listhead. I see, yeah, so if that, then we know that we need to use it for the listhead. If it's at the start, then we just want to move the listhead on and return the listhead. Otherwise we want to set the variable is the next. The variable next is equal to the listhead next. Hang on a minute. What's this doing? Hang on a minute. This else isn't needed. Oh, wait, what? Ah, okay, maybe it is. One of the lines in the top branch is also unnecessary. Top branch. Did I compile? No, I didn't. What are the lines in the top branch? So that's here. Isn't it? Top branch of the innermost if. Oh, right. Surely not that. No. Oh, right, so you can just return the list the next. I see. Oops. Gosh. Kind of incredible again how small you can make this stuff. So do you need to start? Let's set the variable listhead. I'm the man now, dog. Well, I think that means that it's time to call this meeting to a close. Start the variable. So while we've got, hang on a second. If the listhead. I'm not going to do this, by the way. Oh, this is remove user as well. So yeah, if the listhead. I see, right. So we don't need to check that at all. So it'd be while listhead. Well, hang on a second. We're adding to the end, aren't we? Yeah. So while we've got a listhead. Okay, that'll be for tomorrow, I think. Well, also, I mean, I suppose I'm partially doing it, aren't I? The bonus where it requires some crazy pointer thinking. Oh, okay, right. All right. Well, let's mull that one over overnight and see if I come up with anything anywhere close. Well, it's a bit unfortunate that the break that I had wasn't even necessary. You know, because the breakthrough really was that I could use the next in order to prevent me needing to store the variable, basically. But it seems like the variable it's better to store the variable. Yeah, but anyway, that is all for now. So yeah, congratulations! I've completed the completed lesson 2. Thank you, insofaras, for doing the lesson. If anybody's watching, can I? It was a good thought that got you the first solution. Right. Yeah, did I use it? Yeah, I did use it, didn't I? Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, here's the link. Just hang on a second. Oh wow, there's activity down there. Oh, it's as far as that in the quote. Okay. And then also there is the link. Yeah, but tomorrow I think we're gonna try and do the bonus. And maybe have a look at the other ones to see if I can compress those a bit, or optimize them rather. Yeah, but until then, thank you so much again for watching, and insofaras particularly for doing the lesson. Thank you for being generally heroic and awesome and patient once again. Do I want a small hint for the bonus? I trust you insofaras. I trust you to give me a small one without giving it away. So yeah, please, if that's all right. An advanced understanding points that it is possible to complete this exercise using a single loop and no statements. Ah, okay. So I need to dereference twice. Interesting. Okay. Well, I think we'll have to let that one. We'll have to let that one stew, as Mio says. And see if we come up with something for tomorrow. Yeah, that's what we'll do. That is what we'll do. We will let it stew. So yeah, until tomorrow. Farewell for now.